Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. As COVID-19 continues to be a burden on the arts and entertainment field, many of these businesses are taking the virtual route for the remainder of the semester. 2020 is one of the toughest years on record for many of these companies, and this episode will describe how these businesses are planning 2020. First, it's time for this week's trivia question, which will be answered at the end of the show. This week's question is, which natural monument in North Adams contains the only white marble arch in North America? Now, for this week's local entertainment headlines. The Mount in Lenox was forced to cancel its annual Women in Literature seminar series. Each year, the Mount invites a series of female authors to discuss their works. However, beginning on May 31st, they started the virtual library conversation, Wharton's Women. Each week, not only do the authors discuss their work, but also the COVID-19 crisis and what it is doing to the publishing field. Some of the authors have included Jessica Shattuck, Anne Schuyler, Lily King, and Martha Ackman, all of whom have made a major influence in the literature field. On August 24th, Curtis Sittenfeld, whose novels have included New York Times bestsellers such as American Wife and Eligible, will be speaking. If you are interested in attending the Curtis Sittenfeld discussion virtually, visit the website shown here. She will be speaking at 4 p.m. This event is free to the public. Also, visit the Mount's website to give donations to the Mount, which has been suffering tremendously due to the pandemic. Every summer, Barrington Stage Company hosts theater camps for kids and teens called KidsAct and Teens Act, respectively, who have an interest in the field. The first Kids Act was held in 1999, and Teens Act started 2 years later. Both events have been held every year since, until this year. Because COVID-19 has slowed the opening of camps, Barrington decided to take the virtual approach. In an email conversation I had with Jane O'Leary, the Director of Education at Barrington Stage Company, she stated how important it was for the programs to continue even during this pandemic, saying in part, quote, "We have built up relationships in the community with loyal campers who look forward to coming to our camp each summer and seeing their friends again from previous summers. We knew we couldn't hold in-person camps, but wanted to keep that connection open for our campers for whom we already had relationships. It's an opportunity for us to rethink how to deliver theater education via a virtual format." End quote. KidsAct focuses on building acting skills and improvisation techniques through fun theater games. In the virtual edition, campers will be given project-based assignments to work on a final production, which will be shown on a private YouTube link. In Teens Act, campers focus on building not just acting skills, but also screenwriting, directing, costume design, and collaboration with all parts of a theater production. Students will work with theater coaches and Barrington Stage Company's education staff throughout their camp visit online via Zoom. O'Leary expressed hope about the future of KidsAct and Teens Act in my interview with her, saying in part, quote, "All of our programming has to be flexible and adapt to the pandemic. We hold the safety of our students and staff as a priority. We wish we could all be meeting in person safely and hope to be doing that soon with all of our programming." End quote. There will be 2 sessions of both camps. The first session will run from August 10th through August 14th, and the second will run from August 17th through August 21st. Camps will run online from 10 a.m. to noon. Those interested must have access to Zoom, a Google account, a device with an internet connection, and a camera. Tripods are recommended for those connecting and shooting video with a phone. The cost for one session is $195. Visit the website shown here to register. The Berkshire Anthenaeum in Pittsfield reopened on July 20th. The library is allowing limited numbers of patrons into the buildings for browsing and computer use, as well as to pick up holds with appointments. Visit the Anthenaeum's website to place a hold. All visitors are required to wear a mask for their entire visit and follow social distancing guideline regulations. Visits will be limited to 1 hour. There will be 2 separate places to enter. Those using the main library must go through the Wendell Ave entrance, while those using the Children's Library must use the Bartlett Ave entrance. The Children's Library is limited to no more than 2 families at a time. The new library hours will be the following: Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The library is closed on Sundays. It is important to note that the first hour of each library session will be reserved for at-risk populations and seniors. According to Alex Rakowski, director of the Berkshire Anthenaeum, quote, "It is important for us to create an environment where everyone can feel safe using the library. Having the first hour dedicated to our seniors or people who are immunocompromised provides a safe option for those who are particularly limiting social contact," end quote. Visit www.pittsfieldlibrary.org for more information or how to plan out your visit. Another reopening that is occurring will be that of the Berkshire Museum. The Berkshire Museum has been closed ever since COVID-19 became a pandemic. Now that Massachusetts is in Phase 3, Step 1, museum officials felt it was safe to reopen. However, just as a precaution, it will be doing a phased reopening. Phase 1 will begin Saturday, August 1st and run until August 15th. This is reserved for people who are currently members of the Berkshire Museum. If you are interested in becoming a member, you can go to its website at berkshiremuseum.org. It will only be open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with a 1-hour cleaning session from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Patrons are asked to reserve private 45-minute sessions on the museum's website. Like most arts and entertainment venues, timed visits are one of the best possible ways to stop the spread of COVID-19 during this time. Phase 2 will begin on August 17th and run until August 31st. This phase will be very similar to Phase 1, except it will be open to all visitors, not just those who are members of the Berkshire Museum. Again, the museum will be open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the same cleaning time slot from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. For both phases, visitors are required to wear masks, stay 6 feet apart, and follow one-way foot traffic patterns. Visit the Berkshire Museum's website to schedule your visit or become a member, which will help you get into the museum in Phase 1. The town of Egremont approved live music and entertainment outdoors at the Egremont Barn. In a unanimous vote at the town's Zoning Board of Appeals meeting on July 22nd, the struggling barn was given permission to stage music. The co-proprietor of the barn, Nick Keene, said, quote, "This is critical to our survival. People do need this. The musicians really need this, end quote. Along with his fiancée, Jenny Rubin, the two are planning to host music performances with solos, duos, and trios. The barn will limit their attendance to 100 people, as per Phase 3 rules and regulations in Massachusetts. There will be a 25-foot distance between singers and audience members. Additionally, the barn offers takeout food and is open every Wednesday through Sunday starting at 5 p.m. The Egremont Zoning Board of Appeals made the conditions that the barn would close on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 10 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 11 p.m. Also, there will be live music during the Sunday brunch from 12 p.m. to 3. The barn is planning on running live music until November 1st. If you have any questions, visit the barn's website at theegremontbarn.com or call 413-528-1570. The Egremont Barn is located at 17 Main Street in South Egremont. Last week, I discussed how many of the movie theaters in Berkshire County were scaling back their reopenings due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Those theaters included the North Adams Movieplex, Williamstown Image Cinema, Lanesboro Regal Cinemas, and the Pittsfield Beacon. So far, those theaters have remained closed. This isn't just a matter of safety, but also questioning which movies to play. COVID-19 has changed when studios are going to release new movies. Some theaters, like the Beacon, have been adamant about not playing older movies, only wanting to play newer releases. Stay tuned to WWHN to see if and when these theaters will open. If you are still interested in going out and seeing movies, the Wehry Drive-In in Great Barrington added more films to their schedule last week. These included A League of Their Own, which played on July 30th, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which played July 31st and August 1st. More movies will be added to the schedule in the next coming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned to WWHN for all future updates. Also, visit the Wehry Theater's website for regulations for the drive-in. Wehry plans to run movies until September 5th. It's now time for this week's history portion of WWHN. Our first stop this week is the Hancock Shaker Village, located at 1843 West Housatonic Street in Pittsfield. It reopened on July 11th, and its hours are currently Thursdays through Sundays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Patrons can either purchase tickets online or at the door, and are asked to wear masks, stay 6 feet apart, and self-guide their tours. Hancock Shaker Village got its name due to its relationship with the Shaker religious group. The Shakers were one of the first groups to come to America from England. They established many American cultural norms, including art, architecture, craftsmanship, music, government, and more. Shakers founded the Hancock location in 1783, and it became a popular commune for the religious organization. At its peak, more than 300 Shakers lived there. This lasted for nearly 180 years. However, by 1960, the Shaker population was in steep decline. The commune was forced to close, and many of the buildings were destroyed. The next year, some Shakers decided to reopen the commune as Hancock Shaker Village, a living museum of Shaker reenactments. Today, it is one of Berkshire County's most popular tourist destinations. It contains the largest collection of Shaker art and artifacts in the United States. Additionally, it contains a large farm, which is run on Shaker farming principles and modern regenerative agriculture. One of its other major visiting points is the 1826 round stone barn. This is the only circular barn ever built by the Shakers, and it has widely been recognized as an agricultural icon and architectural wonder. However, its most popular exhibit is its baby animals. On the tours, visitors can pet and hold baby goats, pigs, sheep, and more. This is fun for all ages and something that the Shakers would be very proud of. Our second history stop this week also contains the answers to this week's trivia question. As a reminder, this week's question was, which natural monument in North Adams contains the only white marble arch in North America? The answer is Natural State Park Bridge. It is open to the public 7 days a week, with the park being open from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. As with everything in Massachusetts, social distancing guidelines are in regulation, and visitors must wear masks. The monument has been located in North Adams for the past 55,000 years. Geologists are unsure of the exact date that the arch was formed, but studies have shown that the bridge was carved into its iconic arch form by the forces of glacier meltwater approximately 13,000 years ago. The bridge has been discussed by many famous authors, including Nathaniel Hawthorne. In his many diaries, he wrote, quote, "It makes a fresh impression on me every time I visit. So deep, so irregular, so gloomy, so stern." For many years, the Natural State Park Bridge was part of an active commercial quarry. Its main product was producing white marble. This was a major help to North Adams' economy. Then, from 1950 to 1983, it became a privately owned and popular roadside tourist attraction of the Mohawk Trail. In 1985, it became part of the state park, which it remains today. It is one of Berkshire County's most beautiful landmarks, one that nature helped create and form. That ends this week's episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. You can watch this week's episode on PCTV Channel 1301, CTSB TV Channel 1301, and NBCTC Channel 1301. Airtimes on all three of these networks vary. Visit the websites shown here for more information. Thank you.